Hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Tally.
And we are the Lazy Book Lovers.
Lovers.
This is a podcast for book lovers who procrastinate about reading and have never-ending to-be-read piles. Today we're doing something a little bit different that we've not really done before. We're going to deep dive into one specific book. It's the book that's had all the book talk hype. If you're not in that sphere, I presume it's sort of been heard outside of that, but I don't know.
It's on YouTube a lot now.
Yeah. Fourth Wing.
By Rebecca Yarra.
Yeah. So we've actually both read the book.
Should we close the window, or do you think we're fine? If you hear an airplane or that.
Yeah. It's just... I'm so impressed with the... So, I don't know if this is going to get cut or not, but anyway, I have a lot of wind chimes and plants in my window, and the skill Tally has got at getting around them now to close the window is so impressive.
Ninja moves.
Most people knock at least one plant over if they try and close my window, but not Natalie.
No,
She got the skills.
Knocked one wind chime. Oh, dear. Okay,
so I thought, we're going to do our babbling thoughts on what we thought about the book.
Yeah, we both read it. It's
thoughts
exciting.
and thoughts. I really enjoyed it.
We both read it near each other as well.
Not the same week, just because life happened.
Yeah, and then I had a bit of a moment with the book.
So I really love this book. I got through it really fast, and it nearly kicked you into a reading slump.
Yeah, I literally didn't read anything for a week and a half. I considered DNFing it. I don't know.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, there was a big chunk in the middle that I pushed myself through.
I still couldn't work out exactly where in the middle you kind of...
I don't know if I'd read the book when I wasn't so stressed out in life, it would be different. But you'd have thought I would want to dive into this to have a distraction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess it's the whole bit after she gets the... one second.
Yeah.
I just want to say now, this is going to be a spoiler episode.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not talking around the topic. So if you have not read this yet and do not want to be spoiled, go read it and come back.
Yeah, bookmark this episode and come back.
Yeah. We've decided to go full babble about it. Do a proper deep dive. So yeah, if you don't want spoilers, go away and come back.
Make sure you come back.
Please do come back.
We'll see you next week.
Read it quickly. So, right, carry on.
Yeah. So I think there's just a section in the middle.
I think after she gets the dragon,
too much going on and nothing going on at the same time.
So after she gets the dragons, there's a lot she's training. There's this. There's that. There's all this scheming and planning, and there's laying the seeds for where the shit goes down.
Yeah.
And I think it's that bit.
Yeah, and it was just kind of boring.
That's also the bit where they fuck.
Yeah, it was just kind of... I don't know. It was just boring.
Fair.
And actually, I really enjoyed all of the sexual tension lead up.
Yeah.
And then when they got together, I was like, oh, in book one.
Well,
I know it makes sense.
Yeah.
For the story, and I really enjoyed them being all cutesy and basically 10 years into their relationship for the first time they sleep together.
Yeah.
But I was also oh. I assumed it was going to be a trilogy, and then you said you heard it might be a 5.
I've heard it's supposed to be 5 books.
Okay, and then they got together in the first book, which means there's going to be some sort of miscommunication or something to push them apart.
Well, I mean, it is technically already happened at the
Yeah.
end of this book, but that's the thing, it's already happened in book 1.
Yeah.
So we're going to have multiple barriers and things that stop them getting together.
I'm already not in the mood for that.
Or are they just going to be together?
If they just be together, I'm down for it.
Okay.
Because they kind of made really good friends. And so them just as a really cute power couple,
But then
I'm on board.
all the tension of the story is not on the romance anymore. All the tension is on the dragon and the wars and stuff.
Yeah. And in case you didn't know, it's a romance with a fantasy subplot.
Yeah.
It is a romantasy. If you like fantasy and you love world building and stuff, this isn't
I quite
really.
liked the world building in there.
It's quite surface level though. If you really are into high fantasy and you expect more.
I guess not a lot
world
is explained. I guess it's kind of very centred on the college and not much else.
And Rebecca Yarros has said that she wrote it as a gateway for romance readers to get into fantasy. So that is why it's heavily...
Yeah.
And it does fall heavily on a lot of romance tropes.
And I guess a lot of, like, the lore about the country and the country's history is basically told to us through Violet basically reciting it to herself.
Okay, I actually really enjoyed that part.
Okay.
Because...
a lot of people on TikTok had issues with that.
Yeah, because Infodump hate it. I understand that a lot of fantasy books do need to do it when it comes to world building. So I just enjoyed the way that it was her narrating the history to herself.
It's basically
I like the way they
in case
did
you
that.
haven't read this but are listening anyway and don't care about spoilers, like, so Violet, whenever she's in stressful situations, because she was training to be a scribe and not a dragon rider and like a warrior, she had to memorize a lot of historical facts, so then she just recites them to herself when she's stressed.
I said a clever exposition. I liked the way they threw that in there.
A lot of people had a lot of issue with the expositional kind of dialogue.
Yeah, I think again, I think it happens so often in fantasy. I kind of come to expect it.
Well, it's like those things that are like where they go, you're doing the night prayer like we do every day as part of blah 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 ritual, aren't you, Joseph? And he's like, yes.
Yeah, and it's always stilted. So I just really enjoyed the way she approached it. It was something different.
Well, I mean, it is kind of almost like doing it. It really is just doing it, like looking down the barrel of the camera and going.
So this is I'm breaking the fourth wall. This is what's happening. This is the history of our world.
Instead of like sort of shoehorning it into some kind of conversation, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get bored with this book. It's it's kind of fun because we both expected to basically just have the exact same opinion on this book, and then we didn't.
Yeah, I expected it would be. I expected it would be quite poorly written. I don't know why I expected that.
TikTok is making it. It's another TikTok thing, and I'm like, no, it's not.
I think it's because, again, I think it's been picked up by all the fantasy people who maybe don't read much romance.
I think they are like the kind of Tolkien-esque fantasy people. Yeah.
It does.
And you're not the audience.
It does read like fan fiction.
Yeah.
There is a big section in it that really could have done with an editor, and I think it must have been in the middle when I was getting fed up with it. There was like a big section that felt like it really dropped down in terms of writing. So I was like, I don't think this part's been edited at all.
I don't know. I just feel like if a book like ACOTAR, the first book in ACOTAR, can exist in this world. And like it's a common joke that the writing in the first ACOTAR is a bit crap. But then that series is so lauded and considered like sort of one of the peak romantasy series. Like, this one is better, infinitely better written than that.
It does make me wonder, like, afterwards when I was thinking about this, I was like, am I just more critical in how I read books now? Am I just looking at things more critically? Because I read so many books. Maybe I'm being more critical and I'm like, I don't really want to waste my time. Well, not waste my time, but maybe I'm
it's a big book.
I don't know. Maybe I just want more from books. I don't know. Like, I was wondering if I reread ACOTAR, because I do want to reread that series at some point and like annotate it and stuff. If I reread ACOTAR now, would I be much more critical and harsh than I was the first time?
Well, if you had not already read the ACOTAR series when I started reading it, and I'm reading the first book, and you remember I was voice noting you before I was getting on the train. I was like, her knees just fucking buckled again. Like, this is a ridiculous book. Like, I was like honestly just ranting to you. And then I went on holiday, and that's when I read Akawar.
Yeah, you just kind of absorbed
yourself. I was like, I read them both in the space of like 2 days, maybe. I was on holiday, so obviously I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was sad.
Hashtag sad.
So I kind of just like read all day and then all evening, but just happened to be on holiday
in the sun.
Yeah, basically. I was at dinner, just like book in front of face. If you had not really read the series and weren't telling me to like stick with it, and I hadn't already got an impression from you that second book is very different to the first, I mean, I don't DNF, but I could have. The writing was so poor in the first one. Like the knees buckling, the heads whipping, the lint kicking, like all of those things.
Like the first ACOTAR, I just remember like I kind of sped through it. I think I was just enjoying like the elements of it. But now I think if I reread it, I'd be a lot more critical.
That's what I mean. It's not good writing, the first one, and there are still a few issues in the second one. But then, like I said to you, I've read Throne of Glass that didn't have really any of these issues. So then I'm like,
what's going on?
Yeah, and Throne of Glass was written before ACOTAR.
Yeah.
So that's what's
I'm excited for the second book.
Yes.
In the I can't remember how to pronounce it.
It actually has a series name,
I can't
doesn't
remember
it?
how you pronounce it, or I don't think I've ever known.
Was this the name of the college, or what's the
no? It's
the series name?
What's the second one called? Iron something.
Iron Flame.
That's it.
The Empyrean.
Imperium.
An Imperium.
Yeah.
No one's going to call it that. It's going to be the Fourth Wing series. I don't know why they try this.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for the second book. I'm taking part in a reread of Fourth Wing in October, which is crazy because I literally finished it like a couple of weeks ago.
I know, that's unusual for you.
I expected to love it so much that I would want to reread it straight away.
Yeah. I do like the people that have committed early out the gate and have already got Fourth Wing tattoos.
Ooh,
have you not seen these going around? Especially that quote of like, dragon without a rider is tragedy, a rider without a dragon is dead, or whatever, that quote.
That little, that's the sound on TikTok, and then it goes, welcome to Fourth Wing, and then it has that doo.
Yeah.
That plays in my head 24/7, I swear.
Yeah, it was for a while. But yeah, loads of people have got that as a tattoo already. And I'm like, you are committing early doors to this series and this author.
Yeah. She's got loads of books, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't know this until
I think like she normally writes romance, hey? I think, which is probably why she's not really in our.
But she's in my new sphere.
She mostly writes contemporary romance.
I'm just clicking through all the links.
Which explains why I hadn't really heard of her before. Because it
is proper contemporary romance covers as well. Yeah.
She's written so many books.
Yeah, Jesus, I'm just scrolling them. There's so many.
Yeah, because there was a rumour, someone was saying, not rumour, but someone said that they've read all of her backlist and she doesn't write happy endings, so they were like, don't get too excited about Fourth Wing. But then someone else was like, no, I've read her backlist and she does, so.
I don't know, like, this, I think we've gotten off too easy. I know she kills a lot of people in this book, but it's none we would, until the end, is nobody we're too committed with as characters.
No. Oh, I don't know. I did have my heart broken with Liam.
Oh no, yeah, Liam's the only one we lose in this book. But I was sure she was going to kill Rhiannon. That was my bet from the beginning.
That's who I thought, yeah.
Or her sister.
Should we, even though if you've listened this far, presumably you've read it, should we do a little recap of what the actual book is?
Shall I read the book description? It is very long.
Is it better than this one, or is it the same one?
I think it's, but when, someone's literally copy and pasted.
That's cool then.
Do you want me to read this?
Yeah, go on then.
How is it warm in this room?
Now, I know. I got showered this morning and I was like, oh, well, I regret that already. I'm going to Tony's.
Let's close the curtain, because I feel like, so basically this is the time of year this room gets direct sun. For some reason, I get it. Autumn and winter, I get direct sun in this room, which, like, I'm not complaining, but it means a lot of my plants get very confused and go through a second little growth spurt about now.
They're like, hang on.
We're getting more sun, but it's winter. Especially the big fucking viney thing.
That one's like thriving.
It's just growing faster than I was prepared for. I'm a bit worried. Like, I don't know how heavy these vines can get before it'll break and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't really know. I keep meaning to look it up on Plant Talk. I could make a video and ask for advice, but I did that once before and I literally got like just deluged. Lots of people telling me I'm a bad plant parent, and
You're
they're like,
wrong.
This is so easy. How'd you kill one of these? And I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Could you help me out? Or?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'll keep killing them. I can't remember which plant that was, but like I wanted to keep it so desperately, and I kept killing them, and I was like, how? Anyway, okay, it's going to be a long description. Are we ready?
Yeah.
20-year-old Violet Sorringal was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her tough as Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Riorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders' Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly, the kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die.
I don't
feel like that explains the plot at all.
I saw a lot of people's issue with it, and they had a fair enough point, was if there's this big war happening, which I think that's where the world building gets perhaps a little let down, because apparently there's this big war happening, but you don't really have much to do with it. Of course it's set in the college, but why are they killing all their people?
The reason they're all conscripted is because of this war. That's why this college exists. You have to go into a quadrant.
Yeah.
You are conscripted to join a quadrant, but the only one that is, you have to volunteer for, really, is Riders' Quadrant. They don't force anyone into it, but you have to be something, is the impression I got. But that's not clearly explained anywhere.
Yeah, and, they just kill off so many people, and,
Dragons don't bond with the weak.
Yeah, I understand that. But if a dragon doesn't bond with you, why don't you just get put to another quadrant?
Well,
why do
they have
so
to
many
repeat the
people
year
have to die
until they get a dragon.
But why does so when you first go there, you have to walk across this big parapet, and it's why are you killing so many people off straight away? It just doesn't make sense. And how many children are being born each year for them to be able to do this? There's how many kids that have come as riders? And so they're all 20.
But there's only 200, because remember, when they go through to threshing, there's 110 riders and only 100 dragons, because that's the big thing. And so at that point, they've got 110 who survive to threshing.
So let's say there's about 200, right? And there's probably around that many in each of the quadrants.
Yeah.
And they're all 20.
Yeah.
From, 2 cities? I can't comprehend the maths. It doesn't make sense to me.
But the only people who are dying are the riders. The other quadrants aren't dying, because they're like scribes in that. How can you die being a scribe? Or a medical person, or...
So, when Violet goes into year 2, there's 220-year-olds again? It's just, the numbers don't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And then the fact that they're killing all I understand for the concept of the story, I understand. But I also understand why people are annoyed with it, because I did pick these things out and be like, that is annoying. I can ignore it for the story. They're just happy for the students, the cadets, to be killing each other off. And it's but they're still able-bodied people that... that's ableist, but there's still people that you could then...
They could be soldiers or could be useful in some way.
Even if they
would have a place within... Yeah.
If they don't get bonded, they should have the choice of either redoing to try and get bonded, or they just go to the infantry or something.
Yeah.
I just don't
why not
understand.
use that person as a soldier or something? Because they're clearly tough enough to survive the whole first year. They just didn't get a dragon. So they could be a good, perfectly decent soldier.
Soldiers are just, fodder anyway. So, if you're going to kill them anyway, you might as well just shove them in the infantry. and let them die before the dragons arrive. I assume we don't learn about the infantry people. Do they go out with the dragon riders? We don't know.
The dragon riders defend the border.
Yeah,
which is because the other people have got winged creatures. They've got griffins.
So what do the infantry people do?
Not sure. Because that's not really
it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
But as I said, it is primarily a romance. That's why it's missing these elements.
Yeah, it's just the thing. There probably should have been beta readers that caught this kind of crap. And we're like, there's a plot hole here you have not explained. Because it's not explained. This is something I've assumed, is that you are conscripted to become something in the college that goes towards the war effort. So becoming a soldier, becoming a scribe, becoming something like one of the healers.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
the vibe I got. You had to do one of them.
Yeah, and then the riders, you have to choose to be a rider though. That's one of the ones you have to really choose.
Yeah.
Because the kids that are from the rebellion. So, in case you have not read this, basically the leaders of the rebellion that happened about 10 years or 8 years before this, or even less.
Because Zayden was a child, wasn't he?
He said he was like 12 and he's like 20 in this. So I mean, like the timeline's never really
maybe
explained.
like 10 years prior, something like that. Maybe
no, because Brennan died supposedly in the battle to defeat Zayden's dad.
Maybe that is answered somewhere. I don't remember though.
No, Brennan, because Brennan dies, and that's not that long ago. Because that's why Violet was trained to be a scribe for so long, because of her dad. Because her dad dies from heartbreak from Brennan dying, her brother. So these things aren't that long ago. Because that's why she's been raised to be a scribe, is because of her dad. And then her dad dies, and her mum's like, "Psych, you're going to be a dragon rider." So maybe it's not that long ago. But anyway,
but Zayden and Liam. No, not Liam. Is it Liam? Grew up as like foster brothers, right?
Yeah.
So they would have been. I don't know. I was picturing them being young.
Yeah, I think Zayden was like 14.
Okay. And then he was 14 when he said, "Yeah, whip me 107 times, please."
Oh, I thought it was cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Why would we be talking about the timeline? There was a purpose to that conversation.
Oh, we were going to explain about the rebels.
Yeah, so the rebel leaders basically were defeated and they were killed in front of their children, and then the dragons then marked all the children, and the children were conscripted and they could only be riders. So there was a lot of controversy. The belief was that basically the dragons, because of their unimpeachable honour and stuff, would just then kill all the children of the rebellion, and then now they're in leadership positions because they keep doing well. And no one's really found a solution, which is why Zayden is a wing leader. Because he's one of the best riders and one of the most powerful.
He's the oldest, isn't he? Yeah, and Violet finds out that he basically took responsibility for all of the rebellion children.
Yeah, to save them.
Yeah.
So.
And then, so they bond with a dragon if they're lucky, and then if the dragon dies, they die. And then if they die, the dragon doesn't die but can die of broken heartedness or something.
Yeah.
Basically
depends how long they've been bonded for and stuff, and how old the dragon is.
Yeah.
And how many times they've lost a rider, I got the impression.
Yeah.
None of this is very explicitly explained. So, how some people can say this is expositional, but at the same time, some of this is just we've inferred the answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit.
See, I don't know if this is stuff that's going to be obviously delved into in a later book, especially if she's. I think Rebecca Yarros goes by. Has she her pronouns? I didn't actually check. Especially if she's obviously writing them now and she'll see these questions. Maybe she'll, even if she hadn't intended on answering them, maybe she will.
Well,
I don't know.
I did look up her TikTok, and she didn't actually have a TikTok for very long before all the Fourth Wing hype kicked off. Actually. I think she got a TikTok around the time.
Yes, she did. Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, we don't really know about.
I think she was more like Instagram then.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think this does a good job of explaining the plot. But basically, she goes into this college. She's forced to be a rider when she really wanted to be the scribes, who are their historians and stuff. And then she's forced to be a rider. She's teeny tiny. She's very breakable. I think she's just hypermobile, to be honest, is my theory.
Yeah, so she is it's good because it's a disabled character who doesn't let it hold her back.
But they also make accommodations for her, and when she's like embarrassed about them, they're like, well, no, you need this, like.
Yeah. And like a lot of the humans like are like, oh, she's fragile, she's breakable, she's weak, but the dragons are just like, it's fine. Like, we'll just work around it. It's cool.
Like, oh, I'll build me a saddle. Yeah. Like, we considered putting a ladder on the dragon. Yeah.
Like, yeah, so she.
Because you're not supposed to need a saddle, you're supposed to keep your seat, it's a thing. And you have flying lessons, and people essentially are just yeeted off their dragons, and their dragons choose not to save them.
Yeah.
If they can't keep their seats. Whereas her dragon is like, okay, fine, I'm going to save you.
That's another thing. If you bond with someone, why would you
and then you yeet them off your back?
Lols.
Well, again, it's meant to be the like survival of the fittest, I guess. But like, how survival of the fittest can you be up in the air when your dragon's doing twirls? Like, I'm not sure how much strength can save you at that point if your dragon is upside down. It just yeets you off.
They're like, later, so I'm going to go be depressed because my rider died. Bye. I threw my rider into a volcano. Bye.
What am I like? Just so random.
Oh, dear. And the dragons have, like, their own, like...
social rules
hierarchies, yeah, and they have their own punishments and things,
yeah,
and like the humans act like they're in charge, but they're not at all.
Because that is so basically, the dragons have this deal with the humans because by bonding with a human, it makes their powers more powerful, and it allows them to channel their sort of innate magic, and the human to channel like the innate magic that no one can access until they are bonded. Yeah.
And then, so, Violet and Xaden obviously have the unfortunate thing that their dragons are
who could have seen this
fated mates. Oh. So they're going to have to spend all of their time
and he can't kill her. Although, I don't know, I think from very early on, he never intended to.
No. Like, I did enjoy that part of it, because obviously some people say it's enemies to lovers, and I'm always like, are they enemies? But she genuinely thought they were, so I will let it slide on this one.
Because at no point, like, she's always like, oh, he's going to kill me, and at no point does he ever even try to.
No, and she always makes jokes of, oh, you're going to kill me now, and he's just like...
He's just, he like never denies it, but also never like says yes. But like even in the early bit before their dragons are bonded, someone pointed this out on TikTok. So when she's hiding in the tree and all the kids from the rebellion have gathered, and that's illegal. It's a capital offence. And she's hiding in the tree where she's out picking things to poison people with.
Like that's a whole storyline.
It just drops when she gets she gets good enough to fight.
That's the thing. There's like these things that that should be a whole book storyline, but it's just like, oh, I've got a new plot now.
And it's also that no one questions the fact that everyone Violet fights gets sick beforehand.
Oh, I'm going to fight Violet.
I'm the fourth or fifth person who gets sick the day they're going to fight her.
Zayden's the only one that knows, and it's like,
how did no one else put this pattern together? I'm sorry.
It's like, stop making it so obvious, and it's like, but no one else has noticed.
Yeah.
It's not obvious, is it? Yeah.
I mean, the one where she uses like the guy's allergy against him, that was genuinely clever, and people could think that was an accident. But the ones who get like vomiting and diarrhea when they're supposed to be fighting her, it's like, can no one see a pattern
like,
here?
oh, what a shame.
It's like a Violet who works in the kitchen, everyone she's about to fight gets sick. I wonder why that happened.
After she's served them some food and she knows she's got no chance of winning in her hand-to-hand combat. Oh.
But yeah, when she's in the tree, someone pointed out that it says that the shadows, like, hid her.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, that's obviously Xaden's power, because he, like, can wield shadows and darkness.
Yeah.
So people were like, he hid her on purpose.
Yeah.
And, like, that was, like, a nod to the fact he was doing that. And I was like, yeah. So, like, even then...
Yeah, well, from the moment he saw her, he was like, I'm going to bone her. So from that point, that was...
Well, the moment she held a knife to another guy's balls.
Yeah, he was like...
that's the one for me.
And then he saw that she'd, like, handed over her shoe, and he was like, If she survives,
she's both
I'm
nice and deadly.
And then the whole, like, Zayden... when they're trying to come up with reasons not to be together, even though they clearly fancy each other, and it's all like,
I don't want you to fall in love
I'm so
with
dark
me.
and mysterious, no one can love me. And it's like, oh, shut up. Your dragons are bonded, whatever.
I mean, when he was like, you can't love me, blah, blah, blah. And I did like the bit where Violet was like, well, tough shit, I am in love with you, get the fuck over it.
I liked it when Violet was like that at the end, and she was just like, I'm going to be brutally honest with him because I love him. And then she just is, and she's like, I'm not embarrassed. Like,
I love you, don't really care if you love me back, this is my own heart, I would like to keep fucking you.
Yeah.
Get the fuck over it.
And like, right, really early on, she like, before they actually sleep together, she, like, makes so many jokes about the fact that he wants to bone her. And he's just like, shut up. This is retreat us.
I'm dark and mysterious. You're the daughter of my enemy.
I'm so mysterious. And then her dragon's like, he wants to burn you. I found out from my girlfriend.
I loved the bit where I've talked to you about this on voice note, when Violet's trying to, like, figure out how to control her powers, and, like, basically, the first night she gets her powers, that's the night her and Zayden fuck, and her power is, like, lightning. So, like, then when she's feeling big feelings during the spicy time, her lightning's going off. And then she's trying to do that again with the instructor in the morning, and she's, like, having trouble getting the lightning going. And then so her dragons can speak in their minds, don't, that's never explained, just like, they just can.
Yeah, and at some point they can speak to other people, or do they speak to the other people's dragons and then they pass it on, like,
other people's dragons. So the dragons can all talk to each other mind to mind.
Yeah. Okay, so...
But if you're not bonded, you can't talk to other humans.
Okay.
But your dragon will pass on the message.
Yeah, so the dragons are like little messengers. Like, tell Zayden that he's hot. All right.
Because, like, she shares him that memory, doesn't she? To prove the guilt of that girl.
So is he passing on the memory, or is it, like, to the humans, or is he passing it on to all the dragons, and all the dragons are like, by the way, this happened, like...
But anyway, so when she's trying to do this training and trying to get her power to work, her dragon just goes in her head like, shall I get the wing leader?
Oh my god, okay, so
funny.
I've got to read you a bit that just... Stop, I was dying when I read this. I just can't find it. Hang on, you can carry on for a minute. Let me just find it.
So we've both, like, done annotations, and, like, we did, like, a buddy read on Storygraph. Obviously, Natty's been more diligent than I have, because that's just who we are. I kept forgetting.
Can't even find it.
Which bit is it? Like,
okay,
silently wheezing to yourself.
I was so confused, and I actually I got my other half over to look at it with me because I'd really confused myself. Okay, so when they finally have sex,
right? Oh, I'll have the page number for that. Wait.
Please give me the page number.
Because I
got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so she's in her room and she's all stroppy because something happened.
Yeah. No, she's upset because she
What
used
is-
her
she
lightning to
just-
kill a guy.
Oh,
and she was like,
she killed Jack, or
and apparently the power is supposed to be a reflection of your inner self. And
Yeah.
she's like, does this mean I'm a evil bitch?
okay, so this is the part when I go.
All right, stop wheezing.
Okay,
and explain it.
someone knocks on the door. She expects it to be Rihanna, and she's like, "Come in. Who cares if I'm in nothing but my dressing gown? It's not like I can't strike an intruder dead with a knife or lightning." Okay, right, fine. And then it's like he does a double take, his heated gaze roaming over my body. Okay, this whole time I'm picturing a dressing gown. You know, like
a nightgown.
It says dressing gown. So this whole scene, I was like,
It says
it says dressing gown.
Oh,
And
what?
this whole scene, I was picturing a dressing.
Like a toweling, fluffy dressing gown.
I was like, what's so sexy
So
about a dressing
for non-UK people, because I don't think this is like a common thing, but you know, like your robe,
bathrobe,
or like that you get in a spa.
That's a
so
dressing gown.
You're picturing that,
yeah, fluffy like, leopard print dressing gown. And then it got to the bit where it's like, I can feel the warmth of his gaze like a caress as it rakes over the thin black straps of my dressing gown. And I was like,
straps?
The fucking what? The thin black straps of my dressing gown. And I was like,
she means a 90 here.
She means a 90. And I was so confused.
You know what? I did not even clock that.
I had to reread it. And then I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so confused. Picturing a full-on fluffy dressing gown.
We're talking a satin like night dress, and you're just there like, oh, fluffy.
And it's like he's gazed like he's gazed over my figure or whatever, and I was like, what's he seeing? You look like a potato. What did you like, who cares if I'm wearing nothing but my dressing gown? And I'm like, well,
you can't see anything.
You can't see anything. And another bit that annoyed me. That didn't annoy me, but it just really took me out of the moment. I don't know where it is. Someone makes a joke about primary school.
Oh, I did not clock that.
Yeah, someone makes a joke about primary school, and I was like, okay, you've really taken me out of the book now, haven't you? Like, oh, I've known how to do that since primary school or something like that. And I was
she's a British tenor. Is she British or American?
I think she's American. And I'm fairly confident they don't have primary school in this world, do they?
Or she tried to do like a pseudo-British
I tell you what.
thing.
Okay, because this might be related. I picked up so many like things that I think were influences for this book. And obviously Harry Potter was a big influence for it. So maybe she's like picked up some bits from that perhaps.
They never refer to like, they just call it Muggle School, don't they? They don't ever call it like
That's true. And in here, as far as I'm aware, like there's no discussion of school before they even do any of this.
But presumably they do get some like kind of education.
I don't know, like I assumed that the only reason Violet had anything was because she was like from a wealthy family, or you know, like a higher up family.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I assumed she'd had like any kind of previous education, like scribe wise.
Just on the About Me does from Colorado.
Yeah.
It's a very long About Me.
Oh. Does it say I wear dressing gowns?
Doesn't she say where she's from?
But yeah, they make a joke about doing something since primary school, and I was like, what are you even talking about, mate? That was in that middle bit when I was like, this just needs a bit of better editing.
Where is Rebecca Yarros from? Come on, internet.
She must be from. She must be American.
Colorado, yeah, it looks like it's Colorado.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, she is American.
Yeah, if I can find it, I'll I don't know, take a picture and put it on Instagram. But yeah. I was like, why are you talking about primary school? So the other thing that annoyed me, well, not annoyed.
You definitely read books a lot more critically than I do, because I'm just like,
dragons!
And
I think I'm getting more critical. That's what I mean. I think
I'm not paying attention to these little things.
I think as I'm getting older, I'm just getting more critical.
Or if I do, I kind of just laugh at them and carry on reading.
Yeah. I think maybe I might have just done that if it wasn't that I was. Now I try and annotate. Obviously, I make a note of them. So, yeah. Okay, so this was the thing that I thought would happen in it. So I thought that there would be more of a love corner, not a love triangle.
We don't believe in love triangles corner. In this podcast.
So this was what I expected would happen.
Yeah.
I expected she would start having a something going on with Dane, who's her childhood friend. If you haven't read the book. I thought they would finally have something going on.
Yeah.
But I thought it wouldn't be like serious, or they wouldn't put a name to it because he was all like, follow the rules, I'm a douche.
We must not date because I'm your superior.
And then I thought that something would happen between her and Xaden.
Yeah.
And then I thought the whole Dane's power, I thought that was his power because he would find out about her and Xaden through touching her, and then that would be like the catalyst of, oh, you've been cheating on me, and she'd have to pick or something. That's what I assumed would happen.
You know what? No part of me ever thought her and Damon would get together. Not even when they kissed. I was like, no, this is not working out. He's a dick.
Yeah. I did think that they would, though. And then I thought that she would come to realise what the reader should have realised, that he's a douche.
No, like, no, I never thought. I was like, even when they kissed, I was like, this is just...
Yeah, I mean, not long after they kissed, she was like, it just wasn't what I thought it would be.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, well, we can't be together because I'm your superior. And she's like, we can't be together because there is fuck all chemistry here.
Because you're a douche. And, there were so many things about him at the beginning that I was just like, this is full on, like, abusive relationship behaviour.
Yeah.
Like,
red flags all the way.
He was just a massive red flag. Like, he was trying to protect her. No, you're just trying to control her, mate.
He's like, quick, run down this corridor. And she's like, no.
Yeah, I can't run.
No.
Have you seen my legs? Like, shut up. I know, and she's like, it's like halfway through the school year or whatever, and he's like, quick, let's run away. And it's like, mate, it's a bit late now, they're going to notice.
Oh, especially once she's bonded 2 dragons.
What, she's just going to go rock up and be a scribe and no one's going to be like, hang on a minute, why are there dragons in the archives? Like, come on. Oh, imagine little
Andana is how I said it in my head.
Like trotting down the archives. But yeah, just so what do we think about, like, who's behind it all? So my theory, or what I was thinking throughout, was that her mum killed off her dad because he found out something, and obviously he's left the explanation hidden in the fable book,
myths and fables,
and that was my thought process. Does that mean, if I go along with my thought process, does that mean that her mum sent her to die? Does that mean that her mum knew she was going to die with Xaden? I don't know.
See, it's because, like, she goes through Violet's things, and as soon as Violet gets put into the scribe quadrant, all her shit gets boxed up, and then her mum's like very suspicious of her, like, her books and
Don't be suspicious. Do
you know what I mean? So then I'm like, does she suspect Violet has these fables?
Yeah, I
but because Violet starts to ask about the fables in the library, does that get around as well?
I think that she knew that there was some breadcrumbs there that would lead Violet to discovering the truth about, obviously, they're all being lied to.
But
did she send Violet to die?
Yeah, but then I saw a TikTok which was like, their theory was that Lilith knew, like, Lilith's dragon, like, through the dragon's network of talkie kind of saw this future where, like, Violet's gonna save them all, kind of thing. Because Violet's so, like, powerful when she shouldn't really be. Cause
Does
she's,
her
like,
dragon
weak as shit.
see the future?
Just this something there's just this TikTok where it was like, the dragons know things. So what if, like, Lilith put Violet into the Riders Quadrant because she's needed to help fix things, like the daughter of the general.
Yeah.
And the only reason this theory is, like, based on is that there is one, because there's little forewords before all the chapters, and there is one where it's a letter from Lilith to the general, like, the head guy.
I tried to find that after you mentioned it,
and it's literally her saying, protesting the treatment of the rebellion children. And given that she's the one that kills Xaden's dad in the war, and that's also how she loses her son, but there is where she writes a letter saying, I don't think this is correct. I don't think punishing the children for what their parents did is right, and we shouldn't conscript them to be dragon riders.
Yeah, I don't remember reading that at all. I'll have to try and find it.
It is just like a 2-line throwaway, like a lot of those before the chapter starts.
Yeah.
Things are. So I'm not sure, I can't even remember when it is. But it's like, given everything we know about her mum from Violet's perspective, that seems very out of character. Because she's very anti-Tyrish to that. So that's what the rebellion children are. They're Tyrish. So she's very anti-Tyrs. But then why would she write a letter like that?
Yeah, obviously I read her mum throughout it all from Violet's eyes, which was what a douche.
Yeah.
Like, what's your problem, man? I really, really love, is she Mira or Mara?
Mira is how I said it, and that's how they say it on the audio bit.
I love her.
Yeah.
She was brilliant. I expect she'll die at some point, because she's really likeable.
I think...
And it'll break.
I think that given Brennan is now leading the rebellion...
Oh, this isn't primary school.
Oh.
This is war. Yeah, too right, it's not primary school. You're not in a British schooling system. What are you talking about?
Well, then maybe they have tried to do the Harry Potter
366,
vibes.
if you wish.
They have tried to go with the whole Harry Potter vibe, so maybe she's gone and looked up some Britishisms for that.
Yeah. They have primary schools in this world?
Yeah.
What do they learn there? Like maths, English, RE?
I don't know. You're so hung up on
PE?
this.
It's because I need answers.
It's fucking Dragon College. Like, shut the fuck up. We get magic powers from dragons. Like, who gives a shit about primary school?
I do. Because she put it in the book. Why mention it?
Oh, what the fuck was I even saying?
Oh, sorry. Brennan.
Right. So my thinks. So where Mira is so very like in with the government, the vibes. She's very much like her
opposite
mother's daughter kind of thing in terms of like her career as a rider. Mm-hmm. Even if she thinks her mother's a dick.
Yeah.
It's really only to protect Mira. She never protests anything that her mum does as a general. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, all her things are to do with her treatment of Mira. She doesn't actually ever say, like...
Her treatment of Violet.
Her treatment of Violet. She never actually sort of says anything bad towards her mother in terms of her being in charge.
No, because she respects the military.
Yeah. So I think,
okay.
Given that Brennan's apparently the leader of the rebels, or heavily involved in the rebel army, that they are gonna meet in war, and that's gonna be the tragedy moment. I feel like that's when shit will go down.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like Mira will probably have to make a choice, and whether she lives or dies probably depends on what she chooses.
Do you think that Violet will get to kill Dane?
It'll be something weird, like they end up capturing Dane or some shit, and then she's in like close proximity with him, and then she's like the only person he'll talk to, because he's the son of the head guy, isn't he? Or no?
His
dad's
Lilith's
high up.
second right hand man.
Yeah.
Lilith's assistant to the Lilith.
So I don't think Dane will get killed. I think he'll end up in close proximity for reasons to her again.
Maybe to
making her feel like shit.
And maybe to put a wedge between her and Xaden.
Mm-hmm. Like she'll be the only person he'll talk to. To tell secrets to, so then she goes in little prison cells with him and then remembers why they were friends, and she then gets over, like, they talk out his betrayal of her and blah, blah.
So it gave me Hunger Games vibes, obviously.
Yep.
Harry Potter.
Divergent.
I've not read it, but
like the whatever the soldier people were called in Divergent. It's been so long since I read it. But like that. Whoever the fuck they are. When she goes into like the soldiery people.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the whole plot of the first book. Yeah, it's very similar to like how they're trained, because they're like literally like dangled over chasms and stuff and been like, survival of the fittest.
ACOTAR vibes?
Yeah, a little bit. Like,
the story of the three brothers, the three kings, which is the catalyst for it all.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
So, one. This is what I mean. There were so many storylines, so many plot points. One king went and got a dragon. One king went and got a griffin. The third king cried about it and started a war, presumably.
No, I did not take that in at all.
I think the third king is the one brother bonded to the griffin, one to the dragon, and the third grew jealous. He drew directly from the source, losing his
is
soul
this how
and
the
waging war
venom
on the
exists?
other two.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
I think the current king, he is from that family of the third king. The third brother. The one that grew jealous. Which is probably why he's waging a war. He's just all...
So that's what Basquiat is? Like, that their government, Navarre's government.
That's what I think. Something like that.
But then why would their enemy be the ones who are becoming venom now, and that's who they're fighting?
I don't know.
No, like, why would they not be using the evil powers if he was the evil third
I don't know.
dude? Okay.
That's a good question. But that little plot made me picture the Beatles of the Bard thing, you know, in their Harry Potter film with the little paper characters. I was just thinking of that the whole time. But yeah, I'm wondering, obviously, that the fables have something to do with the history of the world.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if something like that.
Because they're all this stuff to do with, like all the knowledge of a generation could just be wiped out, and that's why scripts are so important. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it's also heavily implying that the history has been rewritten. So, and then the ones who know the truth are just so horrified by it.
That's the truth.
Because so it's Navarre is the one, they got their government, their country, and then there's the people that they're fighting who have the griffins, right? And then the people that they're fighting with the griffins, the reason they're always trying to push into Navarre's territory is because they're being hunted by the venom.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That's that's anyone. That's the third king.
That's true. Yeah.
And they're the second king with the griffins, and we've got first king with the dragons. That's how that would line up in my head.
That makes more sense.
Because Violet's always like, I don't get why they're always trying to invade us. We don't even have that good of stuff.
Yeah.
And she can't get any answers from anyone about why they're always trying to push into Navarre's territory. And then we find out it's because they're trying to run from these people who are killing them, and that Navarre's choosing not to help them.
Yeah.
So it's not really a war with them, like she's been taught to believe.
Yeah, they've been very, like, had it very... Well, they've been brainwashed. Propaganda.
Yeah, it's lots of propaganda.
As with all war stuff.
Yeah.
You can't get soldiers if you don't like them.
So she's been taught the enemy is the people who fly griffins, but really the people that fight griffins are just trying to protect themselves from the people who are like the evil wizard people.
Yeah. The, like, black mage zombie things.
Yeah. So then... So obviously that's what she's so disgusted by, is that we've just let people, like, she's like, we could have helped these people instead of we're fighting them. So
yeah, I look forward to reading the next one anyway.
I don't know how she's going to long this out over 5 books, because, like, surely we're going to peak to the point of, like, another rebellion pretty quickly if shit's, like, escalating, the wards keep going down.
Too much has happened.
Yeah.
And they've done too many plot points.
So shit's going to escalate quickly, surely.
She's done, like, a trilogy worth of plot points in one book. Calm down.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm confused about. It's like, where is this going to go? Because I think it's going to escalate to war fairly soon, or it's going to be drawn out in a shit way. And
the book is too big. That's just facts. It's too big. There's too much. You should have cut some stuff out, Rebecca.
Have we really explained the plot? I think we were trying to.
Basically, more or less.
She goes for the...
I think if you haven't picked it up by now, read the book.
Yeah, she goes into the dragon quadrant. She's like, everyone's like, you're going to die because you're shit. And she's like, I'm going to try and live, actually. And then one of the scariest dragons is then like, you. And then she also gets another tiny dragon who's all cute. And she's like a baby dragon. Which they don't explain the whole feather tail thing properly. For fucking ages. They're like, there's a feather tail on the field. And everyone's like, oh, a feather tail. What's a feather tail there? And no one's ever bonded a feather tail. And then at no point, like, it takes a really long time for that to mean basically baby dragon. Yeah, and it's kind of just a throwaway point as well. Yeah. I had to go back and reread it. I'm like, wait, are all feather tails babies? Yeah. Or is this just a baby feather tail? Yeah. Because I just thought she was a feather tail type dragon. Yeah. Because, no, they say at the end, when she wakes up, she's like, is Andana okay? And she's like, and Jaden says, so Andana's fine. She's huge now, though. So that, I think she goes through some kind of transformation. But she grows up really quite quick, which doesn't explain that dragons do that.
Oh, when she has a little thing that connects her to the saddle, that's like...
So that she can, like, when she gets tired, she just goes and, like, sits in Daddy Torrance Betty.
Love it. So I can't remember if I tagged you in it, but there was someone who did some TikToks about it. A lot of the names are Welsh, and they
I saw one saying they were Scottish and how to pronounce them, but they're Celtic either way.
Yeah, it might have been Scottish, and I've just got it wrong. But yeah, she went through what they all mean,
like
and,
how to say
the
Gaiath properly. She's like, all of you are saying it wrong. You're not supposed to say the G.
Yeah,
and it's like Bath, Geeth. I don't know. It was like, yeah, the one I saw. And like Tarn or Ten, or it's supposed to be like Tiern, or like we're not supposed to be saying the R, I think. I'm not sure. And then Andana, we're all saying wrong as well.
Props.
And what was one of the other ones, like Zayden? Because basically, also, I need to tell you this. For the entirety of reading it, my brain was just like, I'm not going to deal with how to say that name.
Was it just
No, I was saying Exdan in my head.
Exdan.
At the beginning of the book, I was like Exdan, and then
that was it.
To get out of that was just impossible.
Yeah.
And my friend who lives in Japan went with the whole Chinese, Japanese kind of way of how you pronounce like that XA sound. So Shaden is how she was saying it, and I was like, no, it's Exdan. And then
Exdan.
And then on the audio, they say Zayden.
Yeah.
So that's where I've gone with that. But to this day, when I'm about to say his name, I'm like...
Oh, so that's why you said earlier, you were like, are we pronouncing it Zayden?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, yeah, because that's how you pronounce it.
Honestly, you know when you like, you just like, when you misread a name or a word and then that's it.
Oh, yeah, like how I can't say audible without saying audible.
Audible, yeah. Or storygraph becomes storyograph quite a lot when we say it. If you listen, we say it so often. We say storyograph.
I never knew that. Oh, that's so funny.
So it's just X-Dad the whole time.
X-Dad. I like that. Oh, so yeah, that was a book we both read at similar times. How exciting.
We really talked about, have we gone over the characters? That was supposed to be one of our bullet points.
Oh, we forgot about that. So
Dane, we just fucking hate. And if you like Dane, what is... Like, I saw so many Dane thirst traps on TikTok. And I was so confused about it.
I'm looking it up right this second.
Like, I don't know, but obviously I was swiping off them.
Are we looking at are we reading the same book? What?
I don't know. I also don't know if I've just seen these out of context because I was trying to avoid them for so long. And then also my whole fucking FYP became Fourth Wing. So then I started swiping off them because I was like, I actually don't care this much.
I can't get this. It can't be like ACOTAR for you all over again.
No, like I didn't mind when ACOTAR invaded my newsfeed, but I just started to find the Fourth Wing ones annoying. I was like, we've had one book, people, calm down.
Yeah, that's true.
Like reading into all these little things and like the whole thing at the beginning where they're like, names have been preserved to honour the dead, and they're like, that means everyone's gonna die. Says it at the start.
Oh.
No. So it's written as though there's a foreword, as though it's written by a scribe.
Oh, yeah.
The following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into the modern language by Jessenia, which is her friend, isn't it, Jessenia? Her friend when she goes into the library.
Yeah. The one that, her and Liam could have been a thing.
R.I.P.
With that one small scene. That was it. They've actually, like, totally got shippers because of that one scene. So,
transcribed into the Navarian language, from the Navarian language into modern language by Jessenia, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at the Skyeth War College. All events are true and names have been preserved to honour the courage of those fallen. May their souls be commended to Malik. So people are saying that means everyone's going to die.
Yeah, people...
Are you seeing them?
People are hot for Dane. Oh, look what they've put for Zayden.
I think the Zayden ones are actually how I pictured him, to be fair. And the Violet ones, I've seen a few of Violet that I'm like, that's exactly how she was in my head.
Interesting. Oh, look, there's Dane. Yeah, that kind of does look like him. I was picturing Dane as... Gale from Hunger Games, basically.
Oh, yeah, it does give off
kind
Gale
of
vibes, yeah.
It's basically his character.
Yeah. So, like, one of the things you can say that this has been written for fantasy lovers.
Yeah.
It has been written for people our age who grew up reading those books. The Harry Potter, Divergent, Hunger Games, Twilight pipeline.
Yeah, I really like Rhiannon, obviously.
Yep.
I really appreciate how inclusive the book is.
Mm-hmm.
Jack can go to hell.
Oh my god, like, what is his problem?
Dude
had no chill.
So much that made no sense to me. I was like, why is this even happening?
He's just like immediate hatred.
And he wouldn't be involved for ages, and he'd just pop up again and be like, I'm going to kill you, Violet.
Just
and
do
I
a
was
bit
like,
of murdering, and then disappear again.
I'm sorry, are you like some crap Draco Malfoy?
He took so long to die.
Yeah. But he literally, have you not got better things to do with your life?
Yeah, he's like, she's the weakest one, even when she bonds the strongest dragon, and also a second dragon. And even then, he's like, she's too weak to be here.
And as we know, I don't understand the whole concept of just killing off other cadets. So I'm like, what does it matter? Just sort yourself out.
But also, just the way...
Focus on staying alive.
Just the way also on the mats, Jack just consistently gets away with just casually murdering people all the time. And they're like naughty.
Looking over at Violet and he's like, I'm going to get you next. I'll get you.
And then the instructors are like, you know what? You know what we should do? We should pair them for a little fight.
Lols.
He's only been saying he's going to kill her for about 7 months now.
They're sitting in the staff room and they're like, I'd like to see that go down.
I think it's finally time. She's bonded the 2 strongest dragons we have.
What is this? Like,
this is definitely time we off her.
Dumbledore in charge. Come on.
You know what we should do? We should off the girl with the strongest dragon.
Yeah. The one that's going to help us with our war against the Griffins.
You know, 10, who's refused to bond for like years, if you're to believe. He hasn't bonded since his last rider 70 years ago. And they're like, you know what we should do? Now we've got this really strong dragon back and she's got really good powers. We should definitely kill her off now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should definitely pair her with the guy who wants to kill her.
Oh, yeah. Jack just made no sense. I would literally forget he existed and then
he'd just pop up again
and be like, I'm going to kill you, Violet. And I'd be like, the fuck is your problem? Just
and then also, when those bunch of people got together to kill her, he wasn't involved. So, there was conspiracy to murder her and a group of people got together.
He's literally running the I Hate Violet fan club.
And none of them were like, hey, do you want to help us go kill Violet? And also if it's the fact that happened because she broke a rule.
Yeah.
And then that girl died. And it was literally her entire outrage was that Violet broke a rule.
She used a weapon to climb up the wall.
What? She found a loophole in the laws that let her do that.
Surely you've got better things to do with your life.
It's one of those ones where you go, it's that thing, is it that deep though?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it that deep?
Did
you need to straight up murder her in her sleep because she broke a rule?
Yeah, and Xaden said it was cool, and he looked at her with "I want to have sex with you" eyes. You're failing. Yeah. You're not going to win this round.
And then when Dane is on her side, you tried to murder my childhood friend in her sleep, and then he's just like, Violet, stop lying. You've got bruises round your neck and a black eye. Violet, stop lying.
Prove it.
Prove it, bitch.
I know that I've known you my entire life. Prove you're not lying. I supposedly want to be with you, but I can't because of the rules.
I believe you're some greedy bitch who'll murder someone. For why? The way he's just straight up assumes that she's just trying to murder this woman.
Do you know what? He was another character that would just pop up and I'd be like, I legitimately forgot you existed.
We're having fun with Rhiannon and Liam and we're training with Imogen and blah blah.
Training montage.
Yeah, and then suddenly he's like, you need to run away to the scribe Crutchwood. And she's literally bulking up her muscles. I'm just trying to survive. Yeah. And he's like, you can still run.
Slithering away. He's like the Homer Simpson meme in the hedge. Yeah, and she'd just be having little flirty with Xaden, and then Dane would just turn up and be like, I hate Xaden. It's like, okay.
Violet, you need to leave.
No one asked you.
He's dangerous.
He's going to try and kill you. Bye.
But, like, now your dragons are bonded and he could potentially die if he kills you. And then he's still there, like, Xaden can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Xaden's going to kill you. And she's like, he will literally die if he kills me. So...
He's just trying to wing you round. He's just trying to, like, catch you out. He's had so many chances to kill me.
Yeah.
Come with me, let's run away. Like, oh my gosh. And then...
It's not too late.
And then at the end, when he's just like, I'll miss you because you're going to die.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm going to miss you, Violet. And Violet's like, that's odd. I'm not going to follow up, though.
I remember reading that and I was like, weird.
We're just not going to ask any follow-up questions.
I was like, dramatic. I'll miss you. Okay, I mean, it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's just war games.
We'll see you in a bit. Is there something you're not telling me? Like, she just asked no follow-up. That's the thing, though, where he's just like, I'm going to miss you. Take care. Farewell. And she's just like, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, bit odd, but okay.
I'm gonna bone.
I'm just gonna go to an outpost, really dangerous outpost with a bunch of children from the rebellion, and not even question why you might be saying farewell to me.
The bit when she was like looking around at everyone like la la la, and then she was like, hang on a minute.
Also,
such a dickhead.
Also, I'm so confused because they were told to go, and at no point was anyone like, there's more than 3 of us, which is a capital offence, and yet somehow the leaders have ordered 7 of us to go, and not one person thought that was sus. These are meant to be like war experts. They've had all this training in war tactics, and not one of the tearish children who are like, no, it's illegal for more than 3 of them to hang out together or they will get killed. It's like, oh, they're sending 7 of us to a dangerous outpost in the middle of nowhere for war games.
Outside the ward.
Outside the wards, and not one of them is like, maybe we're in danger.
I didn't consider that at any point.
No, but that's what's ridiculous.
Neither did they.
Not Xaden, not one of them were like, maybe this isn't okay.
Oh, gosh. Oh. The tiny little bit that was about 20 pages long where there was like the miscommunication. I was like, I'm over it, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like the minute when she was like, oh, you've lied
to me.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, fucking grow a pair. Of course. Think about it, Violet.
He literally said to you over and over again, you can't trust me, don't fall in love with me. You can't trust me, don't fall in love with me.
And she's like, I can't trust you.
He's like literally like, I'm keeping secrets from you, Violet. Don't love me. And then she's like, who's keeping secrets from me? And he never even told me he was keeping secrets. And we're like, no, he literally was like, don't fall in love with me because I'm keeping secrets. And then Violet's like, shock. The number of times he was like, don't trust me, don't fall in love with me.
And she's like,
turns out I can't trust him, but I'm in love with him. Could have seen this coming.
Oh dear. Yeah, there were so many things where I was just like, I think this is a trap. Like when they were being sent off.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, when she like, I can't even remember where it is. Yeah, when she's like, they're all fucking traitors, and I fell for it. I fell for him, and my note is just like, I thought you were smart.
What do you mean?
Stop being dumb.
Do you
Don't
mean
be stupid.
Do you mean a generation of children who watched their parents die before their eyes were then sent to foster homes with their enemy and then were conscripted into the Riders Quadrant where they're essentially like Hunger Gamed into having powerful dragons who are now in positions of leadership? Funny enough,
No, I never
those
thought
people
that.
grew up to be rebels.
No, I never thought that. I was like, oh, well, yeah. But I was like, they're not, like, what? I thought you were smart, Violet.
But it's just like, of course they're still rebels. Like, whether or not their cause is just, why would you go through all that and be like, you know what, I'm going to go be loyal to the people that murdered my parents before my eyes and marked me for the rest of my life as an outcast
That sounds
and destroyed my culture and my city. I'm going to go be loyal for them. Like, of course they're still fucking
We'll have to do another one when the second one comes out.
Yeah, I keep meaning to pre-order it.
Yeah. It comes out in November, doesn't it? 9th or something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little plug for my TikTok here because I'm rereading Fourth Wing in October with a group of people, I'm going to do like a deep dive on my TikTok, and I'm going to break it down each chapter and just point out shit that I want to point out. So follow me on TikTok and just get more of this, really.
Do you know what I mean? It's
I hope the girlies don't come for me. I hope they realise it's in jest.
The thing is, it is one of those books where I found it's not perfect writing like we've just talked about, but I found the storytelling to be good. The same as Akatar in that sense of like the storytelling.
The bits I loved.
Yeah.
The first, I would say the first third. Yeah, maybe like the first third, the last third. Chef's kiss, love. That middle bit, strip it down a bit, please.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was really enjoyable.
It's good,
I'm excited for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And unless she writes anything terrible, I will sit here and do 5 books, I think.
That are fucking big.
Yeah. And I will bitch the whole time, but I will do it.
Yeah. So I thought we could end on... So if you guys have Fourth Wing at home, follow along. I'm just going to read... This is my attempt to be an annotating tabby girl. You have so many tabs.
Nothing on the actual on our buddy read. I just did it all here, basically.
But I did my best to be semi-consistent with this. So I thought I'd just read out my comments and the page numbers. And
yes, I'm excited.
Okay, so page 57.
I'm also following along.
Okay. So I said, okay, already fucking love this. Prediction, she ends up fucking the guy who hates her. Her friend is probably going to die.
Oh, I hope Rhiannon doesn't die.
I know.
She will, but I hope she doesn't.
Or Mira. It's one of them's going to go. Or Brennan's going to die again.
Be like, oh, so sad.
But that's what I mean. It could be a really good tragedy of like she thought he was dead, she grieved him, and then he's like alive again, and then he dies.
He dies in like the first 3 chapters of book 2.
Yeah.
Bye.
That could also be another reason her and Xaden like don't get on for a bit. Anyway, page 157. I made another prediction.
Yeah.
She's going to get the golden dragon, or they'll give us some massive fucking dragon, and the golden one was a red herring. Still think she's going to fuck Xaden. Dane is annoying, but I just like him so much. And then think the rebels know why the wards fail and why less dragons. I reckon she'll end up joining them to save the kingdom or some shit.
Oh,
I feel like that was a fairly accurate prediction.
My note on that page was, I was really confused in the thing where, what is it even called, where they go and get the threshing, because I was picturing like an arena, and then it was like a forest, and I was so confused for half it, and I was like, oh, it's a forest.
But they're on the people are on walls overlooking it though. Yeah,
so it was like a bit like the first thing in the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Yeah.
Mixed with the third one. It's all mysterious and bushy.
167.
167 days of summer vacation. Okay.
Fucking called it, is all I've put. And I presume that's when she gets the dragon.
Yeah, I wrote, oh yeah, just sass the dragon, why don't you?
And then 182, I've put, or she gets both dragons, but I was still right.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind, prediction was that she's going to get the golden dragon, or she'll get the massive dragon.
Yeah.
And then she got both, and I was like, I was still right.
That little, oh, she was so cute, little Bubba dragon, just popping up and being like, my name too, please.
And she's like, also, and blah, blah, blah. And Violet's like, what? And she's like, and also, Violet, and Donna. And she's like, sorry?
And then everyone starts arguing, and Violet just walks off like, da, 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 with her dragons.
2 dragons.
Bitch, these are my dragons. Like, the humans have a choice.
Yeah. Like, they're all arguing, like, what are we going to do about this?
Like, nothing. The dragons are in charge, you dumbass.
But then all the dragons have a little meeting of being like, what the fuck, guys?
And they're like, oh, it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's a baby.
We've put stuff in place to stop this happening again. And then 192, just fuck Xaden already, dang.
Mine was, oh, Wait, what did yours say?
Just fuck Xaden already, dang. So I'm
fuck
assuming
Xaden already, but this is when she kissed Dane.
Oh, well, apparently I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, because she was like, I don't want it anymore. And you're like, fuck Xaden.
That must have been what I was enraged about. 217. Dane can go suck a dick.
Yeah, he can as well. This is when he's like, run away.
222. That's the one where they kill the guy who gets thinking powers.
Oh, yeah.
And I've put bit harsh and also very sus that they kill people who can hear thoughts.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And the end of the chapter is, everyone in this room is frozen in place except me. And I was like, oh, cutie power. Because I assumed it was me. And Anna. 282.
I've just put fucking tease. I've done this in true chaotic me fashion.
Yeah.
So let me see the page. Let me see if I can figure out why.
It's about how their dragons are bonded or whatever.
I must have got the page wrong or something. Oh, is that... No, it's her and Rhiannon are talking about the kiss.
Oh.
At the top of the page.
I was just looking at what I highlighted. That's what I...
Oh, I don't know. Don't know why I've written that there.
Might have been for the page before. Shall I tell me, was it good? That man looks like he knows what he's doing, and then Violet's just like, yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Is that when her and Xaden have kissed?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I put tease then. Maybe it's because they just kissed and then he's like, no.
Yeah.
I mustn't do this. Is that the page before?
Woe is me.
Because that's when their dragons are like having it on and they're getting horny and they kiss. And
Yeah.
then Xaden's like, we mustn't.
Yeah, that's that
So
one.
maybe that's... I got the page number wrong, maybe.
Yeah, that's when they have the little dragon making her horny.
Yeah.
As you do. It's not that kind of book, guys.
Much to your
Much
disappointment.
my annoyance.
And then 357.
357. Yep.
Which obviously there's a big gap here between annotations, and I've put just fuck already, oh my god.
This is when they're like chatting to each other, and oh yeah, so they can start chatting to each other in their
Mind
heads.
to mind, because
And
the
they're
dragons
in class
are bonded.
and they're all like, we should kiss.
Don't get turned on in front of everyone!
When he's like, when they're in class and then he says her name, he's like, Violet! And then, oh, whatever.
Same page, 357. I want a boy to make me a dragon saddle. Is that too much to ask?
Oh, right? Like...
No, I did, in fact, text that to my current boyfriend.
Will you make me a dragon saddle?
I was like, where's my dragon saddle?
Was he like, context, please?
I was like, you've never given up your kingdom for me. Like, I'm not asking a lot. I was sending the Bridgerton clips, the Queen Charlotte one. It's like, I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. I will tell you where you are. Do you love me? That whole scene. And I was like, this is the energy I require, please. And he was like,
match this.
Absolutely not.
Match this, please.
And then later, he was like, basically insulting me. And I was like, that's the romance I was after.
Here we go.
In a joking way, obviously, not in a toxic way. 360 poo. Next to 60 poo.
62.
62. Yes, take that, bitch.
Yeah, when she uses her lightning for the first time.
Yeah. Same page. Ooh, more powerful than her mum. I'm glad Jack's finally dead. Clappy hands.
Agreed.
377. Yeah, Xaden, hurry up and fuck her. Which I think is the bit where he's like, no, we shouldn't do this. And she's like, just fuck me already, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to fuck me.
392. I knew the leadership was sus.
Yep.
And then 442. Who could have seen this coming? Xaden is a traitor. Dun dun dun.
So shocked. No, so shocked.
477. No, Liam. Crying faces. And then end of the book.
Can we just look? There's 498 pages in this book.
Yep.
Why is there so many pages, Rebecca?
Fucking sort it out.
Tony's talking about comments for 477. There shouldn't be that many pages.
Yeah, page 500. I didn't see that coming, but I'm still not as shocked as TikTok has made out, which is the whole
500. Oh,
the
498
revealing
yeah.
Brennan being alive. blah blah blah.
Welcome to the revolution, Violette.
So those are my thoughts. Is any funny Tabby remarks?
I don't think so. Just the bits that I was complaining about before, like dressing gowns being sexy.
So not you basically telling the characters to fuck for 450 pages, which is what I essentially did.
I mean, there was a few comments like that, yeah. So I saw some people talking about this book, about how like they picked it up because it was marketed as YA, and it's not YA.
But then lots of you still find Akito in the YA section.
Yeah. And like the writing in it was very YA, and then it just had like these
lots of swears, sex scenes.
Yeah, it's just and it's not even just sex scenes. Like they're making sex jokes all the way through with her friends.
Well, she's just like, I really miss getting laid, and they're like, I'll do you, like, and she's like, no, I think you'll be crap, and like, because they're all like 20 something, which is rare for a YA book. So,
yeah, so this is definitely like the absolute perfect example of NA being a thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Or like, maybe it can just be why is it YA fantasy? Like, why are we still separating them out? Like, it's just fantasy, and it's just writing styles of fantasy. Like, why do we need to keep being like? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they say YA so that people of that age range know what to pick up, but they shouldn't be picking this up.
Or that to separate it out from like the Tolkien-esque style fantasies and like the very epic fantasy. But that is his own thing. That's epic
high
fantasy.
Yeah,
that's epic high fantasy. The Game of Thrones of the world, like which is like my best example of like a modern version of a Tolkien-esque style. Fantasy would be him.
Yeah, or maybe something by Robin Hobb. I've not read her, but she gives me those vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fun book. We'll do one on the second one when we've both read it.
Yeah. So come find us places.
Please.
Like Instagram, and share your opinions about Fourth Wing. Do you have anything to add to our discussion?
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, please. Please leave us a review and a rating wherever you listen to your podcast. If you put some text down in it, that really helps us in the algorithm, apparently, and we could really do that boost right now. So even if you just write down what quadrant you'd be in, or your current read, or your favourite book, I don't mind. Yeah. Just write anything. Just a little note to us.
Send us a little message.
Also, we have our 100th episode coming up soon, in a couple of months. So we're thinking of doing a Q&A. So if you have any cues for us to please let us know. We're going to have a form, and that'll be linked in our bio everywhere. Yes, in the episode description for whatever platform you're on. Or DM us on wherever. Yeah. Come find us. We actually have also got a Facebook group. Yes, we've got a Facebook group. You sorted out the admin issues for. Please come join us there, because it's just me and Tony. And it's depressing. And like, that's just we might just like it's like we might just put our WhatsApp in that. No, please come and join us in our Facebook group. We want to make it like a little bookish hangout. Yeah, bookish hangout. We can talk about what we're reading. Maybe eventually do some buddy reads together. So please come join us. It's just Lazy Book Lovers Podcast. Yes, I think so. It is linked in our card, which is on our bio everywhere. So please come hang out. Yeah. Because like the whole thing is, I don't have a lot of big. You're probably my only big reader friend who reads consistently. I've got some others, but until like a lot of them have just started getting into reading post-pandemic. Yeah. Before that, I didn't have anyone to talk to about this stuff. Yeah, except exactly. You. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do, is kind of have that you're like your book buddies, but you can't talk to us. But if you go to the Facebook group, you can talk to us. Yes. Please. And maybe if you think any of our opinions about Fourth Wing are wrong, you can come tell us why we're wrong. We'll probably disagree, but go for it. We're open to tell you how wrong you are. Yeah. No, I will be willing to listen, unless you come and try and be like a Dane sympathist, then I'll just block you. Oh, I really. We're a Dane hate group now. We're going to change the group name to Dane Sucks Balls. Dane go suck a dick. Oh dear. Yeah, so thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next week. Bye guys.
Goodbye.